What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got two new leaders that we need to be talking about from Op-06. Yeah, that's right, we got two new leaders. We've seen one already. This brings us up to half. Not all the leaders, unfortunately, but half the leaders. And that's alright. Of course, we already saw Vinsmoke Ryuju the other day. We don't need to go back over that one. Today we got an Uta and a Yamato, and let's start off with Uta because that's just been revealed. And of course, and we'll do the comparison in a moment, let's not forget we've just had, over in Japan at least, Starter Deck 11, which of course is the Uta Starter Deck, which has honestly very few new cards, but it does include an Uta leader, a super rare Uta, and 3 film event cards, all of which are honestly pretty gosh darn interesting. And one of the event cards looks full on broken, the leader looks good, and the super rare looks good as well. So what do we have here? Well, we got a red-purple Uta leader, which means we're not overlapping with any of the green stuff I just told you about, because this is red and purple and all the green is off the table. But it does still seem to be a film-type leader, and come on, it's obviously going to be a film-type leader. And let's not forget that we've had a red Uta leader already. And though we haven't actually had a purple Uta leader, we have had the secret rare from OP-02, which I think is pretty relevant. And we've had the purple Uta from the starter deck. And we've had the purple Uta promo. So make no mistake about it, we might not have had a purple Uta leader, we've had plenty of purple Uta. What does this one do? Well, I've done the translation myself, but I have checked with the lovely Orange Samurai D, who's checked with Ray. And what we've got here is a 5,000 power, 4 life, red and purple leader. And I'm colorblind and the colors are all off here anyway, so I'm going to believe it's a red and purple leader. And we've got, when attacking, you may trash 1 film type card from your hand, and then you give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. Then you add up to 1 Don from your Don deck rested. So make no mistake about it, we're going film here. We have to go film here because the only way we're going to get this skill working is by going film. If you don't have a decent amount of film cards in your deck, you won't have a film card to trash from your hand in order to activate this skill. So yes, you do have to go film here. And I do think it's worth pointing out that at the moment, red film, it's not looking great, ladies and gentlemen. It's really not looking great. That's not to say there's no red film, because obviously we've had red Uta back in OP-01. But red film, as it stands at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, nah, not particularly big. And honestly, the red film is pretty much just the Uta promo pack, which included the red Uta leader, and then a bunch of other cards. That's basically what we got in terms of red film. So that Uta leader and all the associated promos that came along with it, that is essentially what we're looking at here in terms of red film cards. And then of course purple film cards, we've got like that whole starter deck filled with purple film cards, including the aforementioned Uta. And then of course, since we're here, don't forget we've got the Shanks leader we could go for as well. But of course, we don't really want the Shanks leader. We want to go for this new Uta leader. Is it any good? I mean, look, first of all, you're going red and purple. So I'm going to do what I usually do, and I go and have a look, and I go, right, okay, do we have a red and purple leader as it stands? Is this the first red and purple leader we've seen? And the answer is no, because remember, Starter Deck 10 had a trio of red and purple leaders. But it's not even really worth comparing them at this stage, because the fact of the matter is, this is a film deck, and the red and purple leaders we've seen in Starter Deck 10, they're not film. They are very, very different. So the niche that Uta is occupying here is red and purple film. If you want to go for red film, you have always got the Uta, the promo, that lets you once per turn pay 1 to give a character with no base effect an extra 2,000 power. If you want to go green film, then you've got the Uta from Starter Deck 11 that says, once during your turn, Dawn X1, when attacking, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a film card, add it to your hand, which incidentally I still think is great. If you want to go purple film, we've got the Shanks from Starter Deck 5, once per turn, Dawn -3, all your film type characters gain plus 2,000 power. This is specifically if you want to go for red and purple film. That is what we're talking about here. And honestly, I really like this leader. Minus 2,000 to one of your opponent's characters is really good. Adding a Don deck rested is really good. Because remember, of course, one of the things that purple does is it's got a bunch of Don minus skills. So I do think it is absolutely fair to assume that this is pretty much for red and purple, and I actually really like it. And I think it's really quite good. If I want to go green film, which is obviously a completely different deck, I still love starter deck 11 Uta. If you want to go red or purple, then you got the decision to be made. I actually like this more than I like the red Uta or the purple Shanks, which are the other film type leaders we've got. Oh, and I suppose I should acknowledge Z, or Z really. This is the black and purple one from back in OP-02. When attacking, Don -4, one of your opponent's characters that costs 3 or less, you get to KO it, and then this leader gains 1,000 power during this turn. Saw a little bit of play early on in the OP-02 meta. I'm not a fan of it personally, so I ain't playing this, but I'm talking about the other film leaders. It would be remiss of me if I didn't at least acknowledge that this is technically a film leader. Not my personal favourite. I actually really like this new Uta, and if you want to go red-purple film, I think this is going to be a leader that's going to set you in good stead. But if you want another dual colour leader, how about Yamato? Now here we've got green and yellow. We've got 5,000 power, 4 life, which is very much standard for your dual colour leaders. And we've got the second dual colour blue and yellow leader, other than Arlong. And I actually really like Arlong. And I know it's not been as successful as I was hoping, but Don X2, when attacking, pay 1. Play a character with a cost of 4 or less with trigger from your hand. So, yeah, you put a couple of Don on, and then you can pay 1 to play a 4-cost character with trigger for free. I really like Arlong. I think Arlong's really good. And I know it's not proven to be good enough. I know it's not been winning lots of tournaments. I understand all of this. I still think it's really good, and I think there's a whole bunch of potential here, and I like it very much indeed. But what does this new Yamato do? Well, we've got double attack, which is awesome, and then we've got activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 3 or less life, attach up to 2 rested Don to one of your characters. I like this. I like this very, very much indeed. Firstly, double attack on a leader is nuts. I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to go and double check on onepiece-cardgame.dev, but I'm pretty sure we've not had double attack on a leader before. I adore double attack on a leader, and I can't find anything on onepiece-cardgame.dev. So the fact that we got double attack on a leader straight away, absolutely ridiculous. And that's not the only thing that it's got. If it just had double attack, I would love it. But also, it's just got a standard thing once per turn if your opponent has 3 or less life, and you can give up life early if you want to. Remember, this is part yellow. One of the things that yellow does is give up their life. So you don't have to wait for your opponent to take life here. Because you're a yellow leader, you can play yellow cards that give up life. You attach up to 2 rested Don to one of your characters. And you don't have to rest this leader to do it. You don't have to pay a bunch of Don to do it. There's no Don minus or any of that. It is literally just, if your opponent's got 3 or less life, and again, you are a yellow deck, you can manipulate this. You just get to give 2 rested on to one of your characters. Oh, and by the way, you've got double attack. I think the Uta we just looked at is good and had potential. I think this is ridiculous. I think this is absolutely full-on busted. I mean, if we want to get rid of any gameplay nuance for a minute, what you can do is just go and attach, like, 6, 7, 8 Don to this. Make sure your opponent doesn't have any blockers, and you can play cards to get rid of blockers, and then just have a 13,000 power-ish double attacker. And if your opponent can't counter up that high, and they've got no blockers on the field, congratulations, you're getting rid of 2 life in one go. This is potentially absolutely ridiculous. And this is also a decent time to remind you, remember that Yamato from OP-01? Incidentally, that Yamato from OP-01 is spiking right now. Because what we've got is a green price. Because we've got a green card, 5 cost, 5,000 power, double attack and banish. And yeah, now you've got a leader with double attack. But as you double attack, you can put 2 rested Don on this Yamato, which also has double attack and banish for what it's worth. That means to say, when you take life, your opponent doesn't get the cards into your hand. They don't get any trigger effects. They don't get the cards in the hand for a card advantage. They just lose 2 life with nothing else. And now you're basically using your leader to double attack while beefing up your character, which also has double attack. Yeah. If you haven't gone and picked yourself up some Yamato yet, might I suggest this is a decent time to do so? Because it's jumped from about a $13 card to a $25 card since this was revealed. And it's only been a couple of days since it was revealed. It's been so much news, I had to wait until the Yuta card was revealed and mash them into one video. Make no mistake, this leader is busted. Also, when I was in Japan, I went to see the Yokohama DNA Baystars, and I didn't know any of the players, so I went and bought a Yamato jersey because it's got Yamato on the back, and I'm like, hey, Yamato's awesome in One Piece. Now I can play this at a tournament and have a Yamato DNA Baystars jersey. That's brilliant. But yeah, this card is like ridiculously busted. It's one of the best leaders we've seen. I feel pretty strongly about that. I think this is ridiculous. I think Uta could be good. I think Yamato is busted. And I'm going to put on the thumbnail something like, this is busted, or this leader is broken, or some fancy phrase to say how great I think this leader is. I'm not exaggerating. I think it's that good. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think. I want to know if you think this leader's as good as I think it is. I want to know anything you want to tell me, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.